So good day, ma'am. This is my activity, which is the student directory. So we have here the registration form, which contains we have here the fields that you need to fill, which is the full name, its course, the year level, and we have here the add student button, which is after clicking this, you can add a new registration form from that specific student. So we have here total registered, which is we have currently now we have one, which is it displays the name, the course, and then also the year level. So let's try to add another one. So add student. So as you can see, the total registered students has been updated up to 2 since we added a new student. So still it displays the name, full name, the course, and also the year level. So and if we try to leave one field, not let's do then let's leave the course. Then let's do first year. There should be an alert that it says that you need to fill all the fields from the registration form. So we have here, please fill out all fields. So let's do so as you can see, the total registered students has been updated to 3. And if you wanted to delete that specific student, you can click the delete button. So you will only see the delete button if the student has registered. So let's try to clear. So as you can see, the total registered students is 0, so which means no student registered yet. So there will be also no delete button because there is no student registered yet. So let's move on to the code. So we have here a component folder which consists 4 child components, which component files, which is we have button, registration form, student counter, and then the student list. So first is we have here the function button. So we have here this line. So this one here is a functional component named button. It destructures the 3 props directly in the parameter, which is we have text, the type, and the onclick. Then return button type onclick class button, and then this one here, this it renders the actual HTML button type, which is this, and then sets its behavior if you wanted it to be submit a button, a receipt button, and then we have here on click. On click is the function to run when click, and we also have here class name button. So this one here applies for the CSS for class styling, and then next is for the text button, which is the text inserts the text prop as the button visible label, and then the export default button, which it exports the button so other files can import and reuse it. So registration form, we have here import use state from React. We have here a function registration form on register, which is this. So this component that receives on register. So on register is a function from up as a prop. So we have here const name, course, year, set name, set course, set year, use state, use state. So these 3 separate pieces of state here, one per input field. So each starting as an empty string. So we have here const handle submit. So this one here, it runs when the form is submitted, and this one, the prevent default, it stops the browser default's behavior of reloading the page on submit. So this one here, if name, and then we have here an alert, which is the one example that I showed you, if you didn't fill out all the fields from the registration form, this one here is a simple validation. So if any fields is empty, it should show an alert, which is this one. Please fill out all fields. And then after that, we have here cons new student. You have here the name, the course, the year, and also the ID. So this one here, it builds a new student object, the date now, and generates a unique ID using the current timestamp. Unregistered new student. So this one here, if there is a new student that is also newly registered. So this one calls the unregistered function passed down from the app. So this is for the, again, add student, sending the new student up to the parent. So it gets added to the student list, which is this. We have here set name, set course, set year, which resets all three fields back to empty strings, clearing the form after a successful registration or submission of the registration. Next is the return forms on submit handle, and then we have here a header, which is the registration form, which is this one is for the on submit. So the form element on submit, it wires to handle submit. And then a heading, again the registration form. We have here the input type text. Its placeholder is the full name, the value name, and the on-change set name, the target value, which is this one here is a controlled input. So its value is always tied to the name state, which is this, and every keystroke on change updates that state via set name. This one here. So this pattern, the same pattern as for the two fields here, which is the course and the year level, repeats the same as the full name. So we have here the button type submit, which is the button for adding a new student or after registration. So a submit button triggers the form on submit, and then handle submit. So the form closes and the component is exported for use in app. So export default registration. And then we have here the function student counter, which is the count, which is basically to count all the registered students like we have earlier, like when we added a new student, so the count went up or added one. Next is the student lists. So this one here, this function, so this component receives students. So this one here is the array of student objects, and the onDelete a function from app as a prop. So if students length return, no students registered yet, so easily return. So if there are no students, it shows a simple message instead of rendering an empty list. So next is return, this one. So return UL students that map students. So this one renders an unordered list, just map, loops over every student in the array and turns each one into li element. We have here the li key called student ID. So each list item needs a unique key and then a unique key prop. So the React can efficiently tracks items when the list changes if you wanted it to add a newly registered student or to remove. So next is the span strong student strong BR student course, then a break line here. We have here a break line to separate the two fields, which are the course and the year, and then the delete button, which is it allows you to click to delete that specific registration from that specific student. So export default student list. So next would be the app.css, which is it contains here all the styles from our app. We have here the HTML overflow, the body, the margin, the body, and the common font family, which is the Arial sans serif, the app, maximum width of 600, margin, and then also the padding. You have here the header 1, 2, and also the text, which are the paragraph. We have here the text align center, form, display flex, flex direction column, the gap, the padding, the margin bottom, the background, the border radius, and the input, which is we have the padding of 14, font size of 18, border 1 solid, and then border radius. Next is we have here the button, which is again we have padding, which is 14, font size, a background, a color of white, a border none, border radius of 8, and cursor pointer. An ordered list for list styling is none, padding 0, while the margin top was 20. Ally, display flex, justify content, space between, align items, padding, margin bottom, background of white, border 1 solid, border radius is 10, and then Ally span is flex 1, line height is 1.5, while lastly the Ally button we have padding of 8 and 15 px, while the margin left is 20 px. Lastly is the app.jsx, which is first is we have here the import useState from the React. So next is the three child components, which is the registration, the student list, the student counter, and we also have here the styles, which is the app.css. So function app const students set students use state. So this function here, this component function, which is the student's state, starts at an empty array. Next is const add student, set student, which is it allows you to add a new student by creating a new array with the old students, then plus the new one, and then the delete student, which is it removes a student by returning a new array without matching the ID. So this one here we have the wrapper div and page heading, which is we have here a heading of student directory, and then we have here the three components. So which is the registration form on register add student. So this form component calls the add student when a new student is submitted. The student counter counts student length, which is it shows the current registered number of students in our registration form. And lastly would be the display all students, which it calls the delete student to remove a new one. If you after adding, it shows the lists of the registered student, and then beside it it would show the delete button, which is allows you to delete that specific student that has been registered from your list. And then we have here closing div, which is this one, and then export default app. So that would be all, ma'am, for my activity from our student directory.